Hey, Shalom, Yasharala. Peace, Israel. I'd like to start off by giving our praises, our honor, and our glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakudash, Yahweh. That's the true and powerful mighty name of who the word ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh, or higher. Bahashem means in the name. Yahweh Shai, that's the true and powerful mighty name of who the word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Yeshua, or Yeshaya, in the Rahakwadash of the Holy Spirit, according to the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. I would like to give double honors unto the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who have learned the truth of the Bible from. And peace, blessing, safety, and salutation unto the hopeful elect, until you believes the listeners out there that came back into the faith and obedience of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And much love and respect unto you, brothers, pushing this gospel in sincerity and truth, risking your lives and freedom now more so than ever. May Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai continue to bless you and your households. I'm the brother Yawam, coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing, is edifying to the Lord's elect. And Civil War is on it's inching closer and closer. Okay, it's on the horizon. All right, came across this article. Anti-Trump protests held in cities across the U.S. All right, and a lot of these people, they're getting mad, okay, because of these tariffs. And, been going to the grocery store over the weekend and noticing, looking like pandemic shells all over again, man. People over here panic buying, trying to stock up, okay? And, that's going to cause chaos and disorder within the stores, man. So let's get into this article. Crowds of protesters gathered in cities across the U.S. on Saturday to denounce President Trump in the largest nationwide show of opposition since the president took office in January. The hands-off protest planners aim to hold rallies in 1,200 locations, including in all 50 states. Hundreds of thousands of people turned out in Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, and Washington, D.C., among other cities. Damn. So you had, I'm guessing that they happened in all 50 states, protests against Trump. And I want to say another. Okay, I guess all the 12,000 locations is in the 50 states. But anyways, coming days after Slovakia, protesters cited grievances with Trump's agenda, ranging from social to economic issues. Coming days after Trump's announcement that the U.S. will impose import tariffs on most countries around the world, gatherings were also held outside the U.S., including in London, Paris, and Berlin, other Western countries. In Boston, some protesters said they were motivated by immigration raids on U.S. university students that have led to arrest and deportation proceedings. Okay, and a lot of those deportations was aimed at the Northern Kingdom. Okay, which are the Hispanic and native indigenous Indians to this land, America, which represent the Northern Kingdom Israelites, and the Southern Kingdom is represented by so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. Okay, and then you also have Israelite foreigners, because we've been scattered all over the world, but predominantly Israelites are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So back to the article. Law student Katie Smith told BBC News that she was motivated by Turkish international student Rumeysa Öztürk, whose arrest near Boston area Tufts University by masked U.S. agents were caught on camera last month. You can stand up today or you can be taken later, she said, adding, I'm not usually a protest girly. In London, protesters held signs reading WTAF America. What the actual fuck, America? Stop hurting people. And he's an idiot. I mean, but shit, what people don't understand, because see, people think this is just Trump doing this on his own. No, he's doing the bidding of the elites, okay, the upper class. They chanted "hands off Canada, hands off Greenland, and hands off Ukraine," referencing Trump's changes to U.S. foreign policy. Trump has repeatedly expressed an interest in annexing Canada and Greenland. He also got into a public dispute with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and has struggled to negotiate a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia. In Washington, D.C., thousands of protesters gathered to watch speeches by Democratic lawmakers. Many remarks focused on the role played in Trump's administration by wealthy donors, most notably Elon Musk, who has served as an advisor to the president and spearheaded an effort to dramatically cut spending in the federal workforce. Florida Congressman Maxwell Frost denounced the billionaire takeover of our government, and it's always been the billionaire takeover. It's just they just being more open with it now. When you steal from the people, expect the people to rise up at the ballot box and in the streets. And y'all votes it never meant anything. That just gave y'all an illusion. Okay, because the Democratic and the Republican Party is two wings of the same bird. Okay, they all work for the elites and they all do the bidding of the elites. Okay, they just give y'all the illusion like y'all got a choice when y'all really don't. The protests come after a bruising week for the president and his allies. Republicans won a closely watched special Florida congressional election on Tuesday, but with slimmer margins than they had hoped. Wisconsin voters elected a Democratic judge to serve on the state Supreme Court, roundly ejecting a must-back Republican candidate by almost 10 percentage points. In both states, Democrats sought to tap into voter anger towards the Trump administration policies and Elon Musk's influence. Some polls show approval ratings for Trump to be slightly tipping. One Reuters poll released earlier this week found that his approval rating has dropped to 43%, the lowest it's began since Trump began his second term in January when he was inaugurated on the 20th of January. His approval rating was at 47. The same poll found that 37% of Americans would approve of his handling of the economy, while 30% approve of his strategies to address the cost of living in the U.S. Another recent poll from Harvard Cap/Harris found that 49% of registered voters approve of Trump's performance in office, down from the 52% last month. The same poll, however, found that 54% of voters believe that he is doing a better job than Joe Biden did as a president. One protester in Washington named Teresa told the BBC that she was there because we're losing our democratic rights. I'm very concerned about the cuts they're making into the federal government, she said, adding that she is also concerned about retirement education benefits. And ultimately, what they're doing is just trying to make, everything a totalitarian state. Okay? They want ultimate control of everything, and they cutting all of this to bring in that new system. Okay? They can't have certain things in play while the new system is not going to work out. So what they're doing is getting rid of the old to bring in the new. Asked if she thought Trump was receiving the protester message, she said, "Well, let's see. Trump has been golfing just about every day. Trump held no public events on Saturday and spent the day golfing at a resort he owns in Florida. He was scheduled to play golf again on Sunday." The White House released a statement defending Trump's position, saying he will continue to protect programs such as Medicare and pointing to Democrats as a threat. And okay, I guess I can read a little bit more. President Trump's position is clear. He will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid for eligible beneficiaries. Meanwhile, the Democrat stance is giving Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare benefits to illegal aliens, which will bankrupt these programs and crush American seniors. One of Trump's top immigration advisors, Tom Homan, told Fox News on Saturday that protesters held a rally outside of his New York home, but that he was in Washington at the time. They can protest a vacant house all they want, Homan said, adding that their presence tied up law enforcement and prevented officials from seeing to more important tasks. Protests and rallies, they don't mean anything, Hoffman continued, and they don't. Okay, because it's just a bunch of people marching. Okay, and, let's look at the so-called black community. When it's marching or protesting, when is a marching and protesting solved anything? Never have. Okay? So go ahead and exercise your First Amendment free speech rights. It's not going to change the fact of the case, and it's not. Okay, so that's the end of the article. Let's get a few scriptures. All right. Let's open up with 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and it shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. Right? You're going to have, the citizens against the government. Okay? And we just, we're going to just leave it here in America. Okay? These people are they start to get tired. They're starting to get tired of always getting the short end of the stick. And they're beginning to rise up. Okay? So let's go. Let's go to Isaiah 19 and start at the top. The burden of Egypt. And, this place is burdensome. It's bitter. Okay? And I mean, just, having to go to work day to day, pay these bills, pay majority of your income just to, barely make it is burdensome. So the burden of Egypt, and Egypt's talking about America. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved in his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And that's what's going to happen when we get delivered. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight one against another, and everyone against his brother, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, going into a civil war. Okay, because, hey, going to what I had mentioned earlier about, the grocery stores being, bare. With these prices going up, it's going to be hard for people to buy food and feed their families, and they're going to start turning on one another, man. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and they shall destroy the counsels thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. You got all these people, tarot card reading, going to palm readers, going to psychics, fortune tellers, okay, going into astrology and all that all that madness, okay, trying to, prevent these things from happening, but you can't because it's prophecy, okay, it has to happen. Verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord, Yahweh, Lord of hosts. And that's Trump. Trump is he's looking to be that cruel Lord because look at everything he's doing. He knows this stuff is going to make it hard on the citizens, but he don't care. He does not care at all. I'm back to 2nd Ezra. Let's go to the 15th chapter this time. Verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. War and destruction. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And there shall be sedition among men. Let's look up that word, sedition. Sedition. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Okay, and you go to similar words: agitation, proclamation, inflaming, rebellion, revolt, insurgency, rioting, mutiny, subversion, civil disorder, insubordination, disobedient, resistance, and defiant. Okay, this is rebellion, an act of violence or open resistance to an established government or ruler. Okay, and you see, incitement to riot or rebel. And these people, they upset, okay, because shit, they you messing with they bread and they circuses now. They can't spend like they want to and just, be in la la land. And it's driving these people mad. Okay, so the 2nd Ezra 15:16, for there shall be sedition, riot, and rebellion among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, their governments, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So there you go. The Civil War is coming here quickly. Let's go here, Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And you can see that these people are each and every day, these people become less and less friendly. And this kingdom, America, is clearly divided. And what did the Messiah say about a kingdom that's divided? Matthew 12:25, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So you can see this place is on the collapse, man. These people, and this is always been divided against itself, man. Democrats and Republicans. I mean, that's division right there. But this division is going to get even greater and intense. Okay. Let's go here to the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 51. Suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth? I'll tell you nay, but rather division. So that's what Yahushua is coming to bring. The division. Isaiah 24 and verse 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do language. Go into the elites. Okay, let's go into the word haughty. Haughty, arrogantly superior and disdainful. That's the elites. Proud, vain, arrogant. Okay, and shit. 2/3 here in America too, especially women. Women are hella prideful, man. And Yahweh Shem Shah's about to bring all that pride down low. Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in the self, and when thou seest parts of the signs past, which I told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, and all these riots and protests that happened over the weekend were uproars of the people, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And you can see it, man. We at the end of this man's rulership. We at the end of his kingdom. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then shall they be in the pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Okay, and it goes into Israelites. Okay, those of the circumcision and those of the 2/3 club, man. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. So, fear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and repent before it's too late, man, so you won't have to be part of that death by pain, man. Okay? And, Lord willing, we'll be able to be hid and protected during this civil war that's coming to the shores of America, man. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I pray and hope this lesson was edifying. Giving our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, the peace, blessing, safety, and salutation unto the hopeful elect and you believers and listeners out there. Shalom.